Right now at 5, Mining Days in Pittsburgh wraps up with a free swim day.
After a weekend of heavy rain and some rough weather, we're having an opportunity to dry out and start to warm up. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door, coming up.
Plus, people with a passion for history had the opportunity to dig a little deeper with some trained professionals.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's Monday once again in the 4 states. And boy, we did have a wet weekend for sure.
Yes.
Some of us even had to deal with some strong, severe thunderstorms this weekend. And thankfully, the majority of this week looking considerably better. Did you have a good weekend?
I did. I was at the Joplin Outlaws game helping out, so I got to meet a whole bunch of folks and even threw out the first pitch, which didn't go super well.
You probably did better than I could have. So, all right. So, lots of fun all around. And as mentioned, we did get quite a bit of rain. Let's start with a look outside. First, from our camera, downtown Joplin on the Cornell Complex. We've got clear skies out there. The winds, as you can see, are quite calm as well, and they're going to remain that way through today. MoDOT camera, 32nd in range line, also looking fairly good this morning. So, we do have a number of flood warnings out there. Now, these ones here in southwest Missouri will go through 7 o'clock this morning. Some of the river and creek and stream flood warnings will expire at varying times over the next couple of days. So you got to be careful about that. Take a look. On average in this little red box that we drew, it's 3.5 inches of rain, but you can see where that swath of heavier rain came through. And then in southwestern Missouri, these purples here, some locations measuring upwards of 8 inches of rainfall in the past 48 hours. Now the good news is on the future track as we head through today, other than a stray cloud or two maybe in our southern counties, we are going to stay dry, sunny, and warm out there. Temperatures this morning, again, a bit cool for this time of year, but not too bad. We've got mid-upper 50s across the region, and as we go through the rest of today, again, sunny skies, maybe a few passing clouds a little later. Highs around average as well, upper 70s and low 80s out there, and that north wind will be calm again, about 5 to 10 miles an hour. We're going to stay dry for a while, and we're also going to continue to warm up. We'll take a look at all the details on that in the full forecast here in a few more minutes. Elise?
Thanks, Chris. Well, a 2-vehicle crash on Range Line sends 2 people to the hospital. The crash occurred about 3 o'clock Saturday at 17th and South Range Line. Numerous witnesses said the driver of the SUV was ejected on impact. The car involved went over curbs and through landscaping, coming to a stop in the U.S. Cellular parking lot on the northwest corner. Joplin police say the 2 transported to hospital suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Authorities are still investigating what occurred. Well, to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. The Municipal Frontenac swimming pool wrapped up the Mining Days festivities with a free swim on Sunday, allowing everyone to beat the heat without beating their bank account. The free swim is the traditional last event to cap off Mining Days.
For me, it just kind of feels like another normal day at work, but it's just, I think it's a good way for people to end their weekend, come go for a swim, cool off after a hot day out here.
The free swim was moved from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. due to low temperature. Have you ever wanted to dig a little deeper into local history? Well, an annual archaeological dig hosted by the Kansas Anthropological Association and the State Historical Society is helping people do just that. KOAM's Samantha Walker has more.
When searching for pieces of history, many people turn to places such as museums, but sometimes you have to dig for it. And that's exactly what people are doing at the Kansas Archaeology Training Program.
It's a program that kind of travels around the state. It's an annual event, and it's something where people that are interested in the prehistoric past or the historic past can get out and be active in kind of helping investigate archaeological sites.
Attendees start the process by attending an orientation and an archaeology class in the morning before heading out to the dig site. Organizers say experience isn't needed, just a passion for learning.
They can come and never have handled a trowel, never have excavated on an archaeological site, never have picked up an artifact.
Brian Hagman is participating in the dig with his son and father-in-law. For him, the dig is an opportunity to engage in a passion while also learning more about the area where he grew up.
I've always been interested in it, but again, to be able to kind of dig and look into the past of where my family had lived for hundreds of years, I thought it'd be pretty neat and pretty cool to come and see what was really under the earth down here.
Volunteers work with trained professionals at one of 2 different dig sites, a historic homestead and a field where there are believed to be prehistoric artifacts. Todd Bevitt is the project archaeologist and primary investigator at the sites. He says he became involved in archaeology through this same program and is grateful for this year's participants.
It really couldn't be carried out if it wasn't for the volunteer efforts, and a lot of times those volunteers that would be interested in this kind of stuff would not have an opportunity to participate and help out in an excavation if they weren't available and had figured out how to get engaged with the KATP.
And for participants, they say they are just grateful for the hands-on opportunity to learn more about those that came before them.
You kind of connect with a group and people from long ago by discovering and inserting yourself into their culture, into their artifacts, and putting yourself in their shoes.
Reporting in Crawford County, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The field school dig will run until June 16th, and participants are still welcome to join. You can learn more about how to join on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice speaks to the media for the first time since his off-the-field legal issues. Plus, India's new prime minister is sworn in for a rare 3rd consecutive term. And we have a warm and sunny day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Well, Joplin Outlaws' home winning streak came to an end Saturday night after losing a hard-fought battle to Piney Woods. However, Joplin can still win the series with a Sunday night victory. Outlaws were once down 5-0 in this game, but they come back all the way in later innings to win this one by a score of 8-6. Outlaws win the series. They're now 6-1 when playing on their home field this season. Joplin opens their long road trip on Tuesday night at Texarkana. Over in the Mink League, the Nevada Griffins take on the Clarinda A's. It's been a dreadful start to the year for the Griffins, but Nevada wins this one 8-7. That's their 2nd victory of the season. The St. Louis Cardinals come into Sunday 7.5 games behind first place, but they are in a logjam for 2nd place in the NL Central standings. Cardinals versus Rockies at Busch. 3rd inning, Cardinals lead 1-0. Alec Burleson, it's a wall scraper, but it still counts for a solo home run. He touches all the bases. St. Louis leads 2-0. We head to the bottom of the 4th, same score. Mason Wynn loops one into the outfield for a 2-run RBI double. Cardinals add on to their lead. St. Louis up 4-0. So we go to the 5th inning, same score, and on the mound is Andre Palante, who is dealing for the Cardinals. Palante gets the hitter, so wing and miss. 2 batters later, Greg Jones swings through strike 3. Palante finished with 6 strikeouts and only allowed 3 hits. Cardinals split the series. They win 5-1. Royals at home against the Mariners. It's deja vu as J.P. Crawford led off Saturday's game with a home run. Leads off Sunday with another solo bomb. Seattle leads 1-0. So we go to the 7th inning, game tied at 1. Tyler Locklear belts one to the wall in the gap. Isbell can't make the play. Will Klein races around the bases, and Seattle scores the go-ahead run. It's an RBI double for Locklear, and just so happens to be his first major league hit to give the Mariners a 2-1 lead. Royals down 3-1 in the bottom of the 9th. MJ Melendez swings and admires it all the way to the outfield seats. A 2-run home run ties the game at 3, so we head to extra innings. Julio Rodriguez comes up with a 2-on-2 out. He gives Seattle the lead with an RBI single. Mariners go up 4-3 after the clutch piece of hitting by J-Rod. but the Royals refuse to quit in this one. Go to the bottom of the 10th, Mariners lead 6-3. Hunter Renfroe cuts the deficit to 1 run after a long 2-run homer, but the Royals still need to tie the game. Vinny Pasquantino grounds out, and the wild game comes to an end. Seattle avoids the sweep. Mariners win 6-5. Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice has had quite the turbulent offseason. On Saturday, Rice made his first public remarks since his off-the-field issues. Rice spoke to the media while participating in a youth football camp in Kansas City with fellow Chiefs teammates Marquise Brown, Xavier Worthy, McCole Hardman, and Sky Moore.
I've learned so much from that. All I could do was, mature and continue to grow from that. And this is, a step in, a better direction for me.
What can you do from this point forward?
Just to continue to be involved and be blessed and for the opportunity that we have. Accidents and stuff like that happen, but, all you can do is kind of move forward and, walk around being the same person and try to be positive so that everybody can feel your love and your great energy.
A drink and a sport, both considered on the edge, come to Boston to put sporting nerves into a free fall. Energy drink Red Bull brought its Cliff Diving World Series into the waters off Boston's harbor. The event marked the 100th stop in Red Bull cliff diving history. Well, still to come, we're going to see how your child's swimsuit could impact their safety at a swimming pool. Plus, we have another check of that 7-day forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is about to be 5:17 on this Monday morning. We got a live look from our camera on the Cornell Complex downtown Joplin. The winds are calm. We've got just a few clouds out there. Beautiful start to the day. Temperatures a bit cool again, for, for this time of year, but not bad otherwise. MoDOT camera 32nd and range line looking good. We're doing all right down in the Osho as well. MoDOT camera there at 60 and 59. Again, we do have a number of flood warnings out there. These ones in southwest Missouri go through 7 o'clock this morning, and then we have some various creek, stream, and river flood advisories, and those will continue through varying times over the next couple of days. And this is why over the last 48 hours, we've seen upwards of 8 inches of rainfall for some of us out there. So we have needed this rain for a very long time. Unfortunately, Mother Nature kind of turned the faucet on to full here lately and has given us a little too much. So do be careful with those flooding concerns out there. Future track, we don't have to go very far to see that there's really not much on there. We're going to go partly cloudy overnight tonight. So clouds slightly increasing through the evening. It will be mostly clear through most of the day on Tuesday, but otherwise not looking too bad out there. However, with all of that ample sunshine, we now are switching gears, bringing out the old weather graphics from last year for our UV index, as it's going to be at a 10, very high. So that means burn time is somewhere between about 8 and 10 minutes if you are not taking precautions. So if you're outdoors, make sure you are taking those precautions. And if you don't have to be outdoors, do limit your time outside to prevent any serious health concerns out there. 57 in Joplin right now. The winds are calm. There's another view of those assorted clouds out there from 7th and range line. Cool temperatures, as I mentioned, a little below normal, but you can't complain for June to have temperatures mid-upper 50s as we get this day started. And that also is going to put us relatively average for our highs today. Sunny skies, 76 by 11 o'clock this morning. We'll have a north breeze at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. We'll remain mostly sunny through the afternoon. Again, maybe a stray cloud or two. Highs upper 70s and low 80s across the area. As we head into the evening hours, again, we'll start to go mostly clear by the evening and then partly cloudy overnight tonight. Another cool one back into the upper 50s and low 60s. Our warming trend will continue, though, as we head toward the weekend. More low 80s out there tomorrow, mid 80s, upper 80s, near 90 by Thursday, low 90s by Friday. And as we head into this upcoming weekend, still staying pretty good, but check out these temperatures. June, summertime, absolutely here. Once we get into the 90s Friday, they are not letting go of their hold for several days. We're talking low to mid 90s as we head into next week, with maybe a stray shower or two by next Wednesday. So do be prepared. We haven't had to talk about it a lot yet lately, but the heat getting here, make sure you're taking precautions, staying hydrated as temperatures warm up. That's a check of your forecast. We'll be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, a dangerous heat wave is lingering in the western U.S., bringing with it record-breaking temperatures reaching the triple digits. More than 16 million people from at least 5 states are under heat alerts. Cheryl Hubbard takes a look at how residents are faring.
For people who have to work outside, beating the heat becomes a matter of strategy.
We have these heat exhaustion little packs that come with liquid IVs, cool packets. You know, we have everything.
Mark Enriquez is a sheet metal foreman who does hot roofing. Imagine adding 550 degrees to Arizona's already triple-digit temps. Staying hydrated is key.
Keep that in you, because once you come out here, you sweat it all out, and once you stop sweating, that's a red flag right there. We like to avoid that. So if you're sweating, that's good.
Another part of the strategy is beating the sun to work, like starting work at 3 a.m., having lunch by 7 a.m., and calling it a day at noon. In Visalia, California, farm workers have had a change in scheduling, starting their day at sunrise. They wrap up as soon as it starts getting too hot.
So they don't stress out, heat stroke, so on and so forth. We want to take care of them.
Medical professionals say acclimating to the heat is just as much a physical task as a mental one.
It's more about ourselves acclimating to a new temperature and what that means in terms of our outside activities. And we're going to be curtailing some of those activities perhaps sooner than we would have in other seasons when the temperature rose later in the summer.
I'm Cheryl Hubbard reporting.
Well, here's some important safety information as people hit the water as summer approaches. Water safety experts have taken a close look at how the color of swimwear may influence how visible a child is underwater. And they found the color of your child's swimsuit could impact their safety at a swimming pool or the beach. Alive Solutions, a company which specializes in water safety, found in 2 separate experiments certain swimsuit colors are easier to spot in a swimming pool or open water. Spotting the suits could help a lifeguard or others save a child who's drowning. The company looked at 14 colors through independent tests that were not published in a peer-reviewed journal. In a swimming pool with a light-colored bottom, the test showed neon pink and neon orange appear to be the most visible. In 18 inches of lake water, the test showed bright neon colors, including neon orange, yellow, and green, were most visible against the lake bottom, but neon pink didn't perform well. The FDA expands approval for pharmaceutical company GSK's RSV vaccine. The department expanded approval for the vaccine to extend to adults down to 50 years old who are at a higher risk of severe RSV. The pharmaceutical company previously asked the FDA to expand approval beyond adults 60 and older back in February. The next step for the vaccine is to have the recommendation approved by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices before it can be administered to adults between 50 to 59 years old. Further trials for the vaccine plan on looking at adults between 18 and 49 years old. GSK says results for that are expected in the second half of 2024. We know fruits, veggies, and protein are an all-important part of a healthy diet. But this time of year, when kids are out of school, it can be hard to get picky eaters to choose snacks that are good for them. Mandy Gaither has some ideas on how to encourage kids to have healthy snacks at home.
It may be summer break, but it's never time to break with healthy habits.
Routines are usually off. We're having fun with our kids, but it is still important that we are sticking to a semi-routine when it comes to eating.
Strong for Life registered dietitian Catherine Sherry says along with 3 meals a day, kids also need snacks. For older kids, 1 to 2 snacks a day. For younger children like toddlers, up to 3 a day.
We're on the go in the summertime, so we're going to take some snacks with us wherever we're going. We want to be focusing on some snacks that are going to energize us and keep us full. So we should be having at least 2 different food groups, some protein or fat that's filled filling, some fiber components.
But it's not always easy to find healthy snacks that kids want to eat, so Sherry says to get creative. Some ideas include bananas dipped in yogurt, a cheese stick, and orange slices for carbohydrates and energy, cucumber and hummus to dip.
You can freeze them, throw them in the bag, and then they'll thaw in about 1 to 2 hours.
If you want a snack that feels like a treat, try freezing fruit in yogurt. And parents, when on the go, don't forget to pack snacks for yourself.
You eating is a great role model that your child then sees you eating and is more apt to eat those foods and enjoy those foods with you.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Well, Sherry says it's also important to make sure everyone in your family stays hydrated, drinking water throughout the day and limiting sugary beverages. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got an absolutely beautiful start to the day. Decent temperatures and calm winds. We'll have another look at your forecast, tell you about how long it's going to stay warm. Coming up.
Right now at 5:30, the town of Altamont hosts its annual Flag Day celebration.
And we've got a beautiful start to the day. Just a few clouds out there. It's going to be warm and sunny. Pretty self-explanatory. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, Lincoln Park in Pittsburgh plays host to bands from all over for the Halfway Home Music and Arts Festival.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:31. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's Monday morning here in the 4 states. Hopefully everyone had a good weekend.
Yes.
I know, unfortunately, a lot of us got a lot of rainfall out there.
Right.
Some of us had to deal with severe weather across the area. So I know not everyone necessarily had a good weekend, but you're having an opportunity to dry out at least. So,
which is great. We really need it. We've just had so much rain, and I know we've had little bits here and there to dry out, but
yeah,
it's still been a lot.
It's been so much rain in such a short time, and we've needed this rain for 2 years now, and we've got it still. Because of that, though, no counties in our area with drought conditions. And like I said, this is the first time in a couple of years that it's been like that. So that's been the great news.
Yes.
The problem is too much rain can also cause its own problems. So let's take a look outside real quick with the MoDOT camera 32nd and range line. Got the sun starting to rise out there. Just a couple of clouds here and there. Otherwise, a beautiful start to the day. But that too much rain, take a look at this. This is what we're talking about, leading to its own problems. Flood warnings all across south central Missouri and into our area. These will run through about 7 o'clock this morning. And then we have river, creek, stream flood advisories as well. These have varying expiration times, but they continue over the next couple of days. So if you're planning to be out on the water, especially with it getting much warmer this week, just make sure you're taking precautions. Do be aware that some of these levels are going to be a little bit higher. And this is why. Look at all of this rain. You can see where that heaviest rain has been. In the red box that we highlighted here, it's about 3.5 inches on average. But some of these pinks and purples over here into southwestern Missouri, yeah, that's upwards of 8 inches of rainfall. So we are talking a lot of rain. Future track for today, obviously it's functioning. There's a few clouds here and there, but we're going to spend the day dry and mostly sunny. Our temperatures this morning, again, a bit on the cool side, but can't complain for this time of year for sure. We're mid-upper 50s out there. So for the second week of June, getting into the 50s to start your day, not too bad. Highs about average today, sunny skies. Again, maybe a passing cloud here or there. We'll go upper 70s and low 80s. We'll have a north breeze at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. These temperatures are going to continue to go up over the next several days. We'll break down the details on that and just how hot it's going to get here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll see you soon. Well, the city of Altamont held its annual Flag Day celebration yesterday. The all-day celebration included some usual staples such as turtle races and a water balloon toss, as well as some new events like a quilt show and an esports tournament. A $500 medallion hunt was held during the week leading up to the event. A new activity is being held towards the end of mining days, and that is a pickleball tournament. 21 teams of all ages participated in the first ever tournament on Sunday in a round-robin format. Medals are awarded to the top 3 teams, and all proceeds go to the Frontenac Rotary. Well, citizens in Pittsburgh had the opportunity to enjoy live music in Lincoln Park Saturday at the Halfway Home Music and Arts Festival. Attendees could enjoy music from 7 bands across 6 genres, including hard rock, country, Americana, and much more. Proceeds from Saturday's event go to revitalizing the J.J. Richards Band Shell.
A great time. I guess that would be the thing you would want for every concert. I want them to be aware that we started with just multi-genres too. I didn't want this to be a country festival. I didn't want it to be a red dirt festival. My preference is metal. It isn't a metal fest. We have all genres of music, and I wanted to touch everyone that's willing to come out and sit in the park and listen to music all day.
Future festivals are planned for Fort Scott and Parsons. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Haiti's newly chosen prime minister is out of the hospital after spending one night there. Plus, a child is freed in Syria after being trapped in a well for several hours. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Topping World Watch, an apparent gaffe by President Biden capping off a state visit this weekend to France. This as the White House vows to continue its support for Ukraine, even as some in Washington push to pull back on U.S. aid. Peter Ducey is traveling with the president and has the latest.
Maybe jet lag, maybe not. As President Biden was leaving this trip, which included a meeting with the president of Ukraine, about $225 million US for Ukraine, he got Ukraine mixed up with Iraq.
I think there's a new rise and a sense of some within the country wanting to let that slip. The idea that we become semi-isolationists now, which some are talking about. I mean, the idea we had to wait all those months just to get the money for Iraq because we were waiting. I mean, it's not who we are.
Adding to the weight of that mistake, the president's national security advisor is defending the new U.S. policy of letting Ukrainians use U.S. weapons to shoot at Russia inside Russia.
From the president's perspective, this was common sense, and it simply didn't make sense not to allow the Ukrainians to fire across that border to hit Russian guns and emplacements that were firing at the Ukrainians.
The cemetery President Biden visited today is the one Trump skipped as president. The Atlantic magazine at the time claimed he also called the war dead there suckers and losers. Trump denies this, but it's a story Biden tells all the time, except today.
You've criticized President Trump for not coming here on his trip. What message are you hoping to send to voters by being here right now?
Any other questions?
President Biden has to be back here in Western Europe midweek, so it's unclear why he and the First Lady flew back to Delaware today.
Narendra Modi is sworn in Sunday for a 3rd consecutive term as India's prime minister after his party had to rely on coalition partners to secure the win. Modi and his cabinet ministers took the oath of office at India's presidential palace in New Delhi. He's the 2nd prime minister to retain the position for a 3rd 5-year term. Although the 73-year-old leader won by a landslide in 2014 and 2019, his party was not able to secure a majority to govern on its own in this election. But his National Democratic Alliance coalition won enough seats to form a government. Haiti's newly chosen prime minister is out of the hospital after spending one night there. There was no immediate word on what 58-year-old Gary Connell was being treated for. The prime minister's office said he was taken to the hospital Saturday after a week of intense activities. In a video published on YouTube, Connell says he now feels well and was ready to continue to help steer the country out of its current crisis. The gang violence that's been rocking Haiti shows no sign of letting up. On Sunday, 3 police officers were killed and a 4th went missing. The police union says the officers were part of a new anti-gang unit. The trapped child is freed in Syria. This child was trapped in a well for several hours in western Syria. Gritty workers never gave up on attempts to get the child from Saturday into Sunday. The child was given oxygen during the rescue operation, and once the child was pulled loose, massive shouts of joy rose up from the site. The child was taken to a hospital, and a representative of the White Helmets organization, which is part of Syria's civil defense and is a volunteer organization, said the child is in good condition. No information is available on how the child became trapped in the well. And that's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 5:44 on this Monday morning. We're taking a live look from our camera at the Cornell Complex downtown Joplin. Take a look out there. It looks absolutely beautiful. A few clouds overhead to go in with this beautiful sunrise and a pretty decent start to the day. MoDOT camera 32nd in range line. Another great view of just a handful of clouds out there, but otherwise, again, a pretty good start for us. And the MoDOT camera down in Neosho on 60 and 59 looking back to the west, also looking really good this morning as well. However, we did get quite a bit of rainfall this past week, and we have these flood warnings that'll continue through 7 o'clock this morning, and then the River Creek stream flood advisories out there. Some of them got varying expiration times through the next couple of days. So if you're planning on being in the water, especially in parts of southeast Kansas through this week, you want to make sure that you're just paying attention to those water levels. Make sure you're playing it safe out there, because we got quite a bit of rainfall over the last 48 hours. You can see where the heaviest band was, and as it gets into southwest Missouri, these purples here, yeah, we got upwards of 8 inches of rain in the last 2 days. So again, as we mentioned, we needed this rain. We've needed it for quite some time, but the problem that we've been having with the rain is we're getting these bursts where, again, over a day or two period, we're getting very heavy rainfall, and then it's drying out, and that's causing problems of its own. Future track, not much to show out there. We skip ahead. The only thing really changing is the temperatures. We'll have an opportunity for some partly cloudy skies as we go overnight tonight into Tuesday, and we'll be mostly clear on our Tuesday, just a few passing clouds here or there. But as you can see, no precipitation in the forecast as we head through Tuesday and into Wednesday. So with all that sunshine, it does have its own problem. The UV index is up there at a 10, so that's very high. Burn time, if you're not taking precautions, is 8 to 10 minutes. So make sure you are taking precautions if you do have to be outdoors. And if you can, either avoid being outdoors or at least limit your time outside as well. And I know, again, a lot of folks, a lot of professions, you can't limit your time outside necessarily. Your job entails being outdoors, so at least be taking those precautions. Keep yourself safe. Our camera 7th in range line. Again, nice view out there. 57 in Joplin. The wind is calm. It's been calm all morning long. Around the area for June, again, cool temperatures, but reasonable. Not bad. A great start to the day. Mid-upper 50s as we head out the door this morning. I'm looking at sunny skies through the morning hours. 76 by 11 o'clock this morning. And again, a few passing clouds here or there, but otherwise we're talking mostly sunny skies. Will be sunny through the afternoon as well. Temperatures warm but near average. Upper 70s and low 80s. And as we head into the overnight hours tonight, again, we'll see a few extra clouds, so a few more passing clouds, and eventually going partly cloudy later this evening. 68 by 10, overnight lows similar to today, going into tomorrow, upper 50s and low 60s. However, it is June, it is summertime, and Mother Nature is going to definitely remind us of that over the next several days. Again, a few clouds tomorrow. Otherwise, we look great all the way into the weekend. The only thing we're going to have to contend with is these rising temperatures. So we go low 80s, mid-upper 80s, upper 80s, low 90s, approaching mid-90s as we head into the weekend and the start of next week. So again, we haven't had to talk about it a lot yet, but we want to remind you, you need to start being prepared. Make sure you're prepped for this hot weather and that you're staying hydrated and taking precautions as temperatures rise over the next several days. Could see a stray shower or two by next Wednesday. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more right after this.
One Rhode Island teen is helping other kids get a head start on their summer reading goals. She spent the past few weeks collecting more than 1,200 books that will be distributed to children in need. Samantha Reed has the story.
Inside of Sarah Clark's South Kingstown home.
I love reading. It's like one of my favorite things to do.
Books are being stacked and packed.
I was asking for gently used and new books
as they get ready to head to their new one.
I did not think I was going to get this many.
A few weeks ago, the 15-year-old read an article and learned there's a lot of kids her age who wouldn't have been able to read it themselves.
And I saw how startling, like how many kids couldn't read, not just in like Rhode Island, but across America.
It's for that reason she took things into her own hands literally, alongside 3 of her friends who started a book drive at Broad Rock Middle School.
It really made me feel like I really needed to do this so I could get kids reading.
Students and staff supported her efforts.
So like every day I'd come home and I'd go through like 50 to 200 books. I got over 1,200 books.
Sarah and 1,200 books, that is just unbelievable.
Every day for the last 3 weeks, Sarah's been going through each one. She takes out stickers and wipes out words, making sure they're in top condition before she donates them to the United Way of Rhode Island that's hosting its 12th annual statewide book drive for kids in need.
The focus of the book drive is to collect books at 50 different locations across the state.
This week, participating locations will donate their books, or they'll be picked up and distributed before kids are out for the summer break.
We want to make sure that every kid has access to a book and access to their own book.
In total, more than 30,000 will be gifted. Sarah and her supporters put a significant dent in that final number.
And I'm just like so happy that we could do this together and be able to help kids who might not have books at home. I've always wanted to do this since I was little, be able to help other people.
And while it's almost on to a new chapter, this story of kindness from a kid is so appreciated.
You know, I'm a firm believer that you have to leave the world better than you got it, and I think Sarah's character exemplifies that.
Girls in Iowa tried out a new sport. The Minnesota Vikings held its first ever free flag football camp for girls ages 6 to 18. Shannon Earhart was there as 75 girls competed with and against each other.
The ball only. Okay.
I'm playing girls flag football because I think all girls should have an opportunity to play something that they want to play.
When these girls strapped on their flags at the girls-only Minnesota Vikings football camp, Des Moines got a glimpse of the future.
That was an interception. Not my finest work, but these girls wouldn't have been able to do that months ago. Some of these girls didn't even know this sport existed.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they didn't know, but they were just probably rejected by all the boys.
Most girls, they don't play flag football or anything, so they definitely opened up something for girls.
The NFL as a whole, their main goal is to get girls' flags sanctioned in all 50 states.
And Iowa should like their odds since girls wrestling became a sport in the state last year.
Iowa might even be able to sanction before Minnesota for that reason. We've worked really closely with the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union to see what we can do and partner with them to make girls' flag become a reality here.
If a team came to my school, I would definitely join. It was a lot of fun.
I'll probably talk to the principal, girls around the school.
The benefit?
I think we would see a lot of girls with a lot more confidence. Seeing the girls be able to show off on the field and just seeing the smiles on their faces from being able to participate in something like this.
While girls flag football isn't sanctioned in Iowa, it is in other states, and maybe they'll be next. Stick around. We'll be right back. NASA astronauts gave a tour of the Boeing Starliner that is docked at the International Space Station Saturday. The astronauts lifted off Wednesday morning from Cape Canaveral Space Station as part of the end-to-test of Boeing's Starliner. The test will help to make sure that all parts of the mission run smoothly and that the Starliner is prepared for rotational missions to the space station. The Starliner has flown 2 uncrewed orbital flights already. Throughout the flight, Boeing is monitoring a series of automatic spacecraft maneuvers from the control center in Houston. Well, Mexico City Zoo helps animals seek relief from the heat with a special treat. The Chapultepec Zoo in Mexico City is helping its lions cool down with frozen meat popsicles, while its monkeys snack on a frozen vegetarian option. Temperatures in the Mexican capital have been around an unusual 86 degrees, causing many howler monkeys to fall dead out of the trees from heat stroke. Further north of the zoo, another animal park has had to set up air-conditioned rooms for eagles, owls, and other birds of prey. Climate experts say that a heat dome has blocked clouds from forming, causing extensive sunshine and overwhelming temperatures all across Mexico.
And we're going to be getting into our own kind of heat dome as we head through the rest of this week. Temperatures warming with sunny skies out there. Today, not too bad. Sunny, again, 76 by 11 o'clock, maybe a cloud or two through the afternoon as well. Otherwise, upper 70s, low 80s, so near average today. We'll see a few extra clouds as we go through the evening and overnight hours. We'll go partly cloudy tonight and back into the upper 50s and low 60s. However, after a few clouds tomorrow, we are looking at sunny skies heading into the weekend, maybe a few clouds Saturday, but look at these temperatures warming up quite a bit. We're talking low 80s tomorrow, mid-upper 80s Wednesday, near 90 Thursday. Then we're looking at low, maybe even mid-90s as we head into the weekend and the start of next week. So again, we haven't had to talk about it a lot, but want you to make sure that you're staying hydrated and that you're prepared for this heat, because we've had it pretty good so far this June. It's been warm, it's been getting hot, but it's going to get very hot heading into the weekend and next week. Could see a stray shower or two, though, by next Wednesday. That's Check Your Forecast. We got a whole nother hour of the KOAM Morning News right after this.